Well, we're all back once again. I'm feeling a little bit better. Thank you for all the well wishes, by the way. It was actually very, very nice, especially on a holiday week like last week. Perfect timing for that as well. And honestly, it was perfect timing because, well, there really wasn't shit going on. I mean, shit, there's probably not much going on this week either, to be honest with you. But we are preparing for a new year of new opportunities. But I do think it still takes another week to really get going here as the game in town, the biggest game in town is silver right now. Silver blowing off its top at $85 per ounce and now coming down. But there's always a second wind on these. So, generally, while I do think silver is probably finding a first, major swing high right here, there is going to be another bounce before it's all said and done. And I don't necessarily think that it's even all said and done anyways right now. So a lot of people chomping at the bit to get short on silver, short on gold. But I think that that's just the wrong call as of right now. It's better, at least it's wiser in my experience, to wait for the very obvious, very, very obvious reversal before riding typically what is a rather easy short on the downside. Because there probably is a lot of downside once it does put in a major, macro high, but not necessarily convinced that it's just right now. It is potential right here, but of course, still pending several different things upon, well, one of which is major continuation. Anyways, I'm getting off track right now. What's up, Mr. Caretaker? What's up, Mr. Peter Underwood? Good to see you guys. As always, Terry Tees, 773, Aria, the Super Cool Bros 2.026. Good morning to you as well, man. Big Daddy Smash. I like the name. Indeed. Big Daddy Smash. Big Daddy Smash. Big Daddy, also a great Adam Sandler movie. Absolutely love that one. I think Elsa, did we watch that one, Elsa, or did you not watch it? I think maybe you fell asleep, something like that. ZEC is the big thing right now too, apparently. We'll maybe get into that a little bit later. Probably more interested in Monero. That one was the chart that was hinting at a potential actual breakout as of last week. I see who else? Carpe DMs. What's up, man? Carpe DMs for CEC. Philson, what's up, man? Good to see you, Mr. Philson. Hollow tip. Fuck yeah, man. I just bought my first gun the other day. Very happy about it. Very proud of it. And also very much looking forward to shooting the shit out of it as well. Not at any people, obviously. Well, hopefully not. But at the old range there. Looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to being a real American. Got a big old truck, now some guns, and then what else do we need to do to be American? I don't know, eat some fucking cheeseburgers or some shit. We need what? Boots and hat. Oh yes, cowboy boots and cowboy hat. Yes, exactly indeed. What's up, Sam Frangosi? Good to see you, man. 2 a.m. here. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yes, indeed. And Mark Toes, an OG of this channel, and McDonald's House too, another OG at this point as well. And Asti Callie here. Yeah, a lot of West Coasters joining during this time, but that's what we need. We need more West Coasters to join in on this shit because they've been excluded priorly, unfortunately. Blue Mountain Fire. Every time Bitcoin starts to get a bid, we get smacked in the balls. I don't know if necessarily starts to even get a bid. It's just it's been a range. It's been a nothing for the past month and a half. We've been all wasting our time looking at Bitcoin. The markets are ever expanding, and we don't necessarily need to always be working on or watching on Bitcoin. I mean, it's good to be keeping an eye on it on these streams, on these videos. Of course, I'll always continue to make that a center point of these, of these videos. But I do want to kind of drift a little bit more into traditional market land, maybe even looking at a little bit more of the precious metals as well. I mean, that's just what's hot right now. It's so hot gold, so hot silver, so hot not Bitcoin, unfortunately. It just hasn't been the thing. It just hasn't been the thing for the past, really since 2021. Ever since 2021, it has not been the quote unquote thing. People just don't care about it right now. I can see that in my YouTube metrics. I can see that in my friends' YouTube metrics. This cycle, unlike others, has been significantly different from the social media aspect. I can absolutely assure you of that, not just on my channel, but on other major channels as well. Like, my channel is a relatively, I guess, small, moderate channel in the grand scheme of things. My friends who have massive channels, 500,000 subscribers, million subscribers or more, they're seeing the same thing. So, it's just Bitcoin is not that thing. It's not that thing right now. What the thing is, or the thing has been, AI, robotics, and then it was gold, and now it's kind of going into silver. That seems to be the cycle right now. And you know what? That's fine. We can go over and check out that shit as well. Everything's tradable, of course. As long as it's got a chart, it's probably tradable in some manner, hopefully. but yeah, man, don't need to get stuck and beholden to just one asset. So do you want to take some time to look at traditional markets today? Do you want to take some time to look at gold and silver as well? And I see that we got someone's at the door. What the fuck is this? Hopefully it's not someone for me because I've had oh so many fucking appointments recently. Anyways, go check out some traditional markets right here. I'm curious to see what U.S. markets are open up with this week. We see SPY futures are down 0.5%, getting a little bit of a pullback after that technical breakout that did end last week. Still think that this one does lead up to new all-time highs. Maybe this week again. I would almost undoubtedly assume by the end of next week as well. I don't think that this one's done just yet. Again, higher term time frames, more or less really fucking good here. Looking at monthly, looking at quarterly, all of these things are looking for continuation into 2026. I mean, the yearly, I think, says it all right here. You know, I do not expect that the all-time highs are in as of right now. I know a lot of people are, for whatever reason, it's a fucking disease. It's a fucking disease to be looking for an asset that's at all-time highs to short before it actually shows something, you know, resembling a reversal. Same thing on the other side. You know, when people are trying to buy something that's just a falling fucking knife, it's so obvious in hindsight where the actual low is. So just wait for the actual fucking low or wait for the actual fucking high to take that trade instead of just trying to guess beforehand because you saw, you know, the big short and you think that you're going to be the next massive fucking hero, in which most people, you know, I see many people just lose fucking money that way. I know I've lost a lot of money that way as well, just trying to pick tops and trying to pick bottoms, get your fucking hands itchy and stinky. You probably catch some sort of a disease that what I got right now too. I mean, last week, I don't know what the fuck I have. Like I have these massive blisters all over my hands, all over my feet, all over my mouth, all over my ass, they were on my ball sack and my peignoir as well. It was very bad situation and extremely itchy. Holy shit, man. God, that fucking sucked. It's finally starting to clear up, but still got all these blisters over my hands too. It looks disgusting, man. It looks like I actually look like King Baldwin, but without a crown and but very much with whatever fucking disease he had. I think he had leprosy or syphilis or some shit like that. It's bad, man. It's real bad, real fucking bad. Anyways, checking out some more traditional markets. I think NASDAQ futures doing more or less the same shit as SPY futures here. Yeah, 25,700. You know, hinting at a breakout as well, but not in as strong a position as SPY futures. You know, same thing as we went over last week. This one still needed to see it close above about 25,900 to declare a breakout here with, you know, prior highs and new all-time highs included. But more or less bullish as long as it holds above this low from, you know, Tuesday, the 16th of December at about 25,900. So $1,000 range right there, just bounced off of or just pulled back from the top side of the range. Just want to see it close above that and then good to go. Good to fucking go. Very, very beautiful. Very, very nice. Anyways, let's see what else we got on higher term timeframes. I mean, of course, it is the end of the year here coming up in just a couple days. I think it is Wednesday is the last trading day. Yeah, 31st is Wednesday here. And we can see same thing on it's same thing on NASDAQ futures as well. I mean, is this going to be the high right here? No, I don't think so. I think you got new highs in 2026. So it's like, in my opinion, don't try to get too fucking clever with this because holding right now, at least if I'm going to put on my long-term investor hat, I think that is still the right action to be taking. As far as my Bitcoin position, because a few people have asked about this, my Bitcoin options position did expire. It did expire with full profit. I guess it's not going to be here anymore. Yeah, it's not going to be there anymore because it did expire. That was 29,300, I believe it was, back in the pocket. Very, very nice. I don't have a move to make right now for Bitcoin. I just want to wait for the next most obvious trade. I don't want to take that same short put spread again. You know, I feel like I milked that one out pretty well. You know, I am a little bit on edge here that Bitcoin could shoot through the floor. So I don't want to take that same position, or at least if I do, I want to take it when Bitcoin's trading closer to 80,000 bucks. Let's actually see what those premiums are for that 80-70 put spread. I just want to see what that looks like. I'm not going to take a position here, but I do want to see what the premiums are looking like. Let's say for January 16th, that's going to be a regular expiration, I do believe. And if we look at calls, if we look at puts, 80,000 put strike is trading for what? Trading for bid is 620, ask is 915. Yeah, that's not enough premium for me to be interested right here. That is a little bit too low. I mean, shit, that doesn't really give you much protection at all, honestly, on an actual downside breakout. So I would want to see that at like 1,500, which it probably would get to if Bitcoin was trading maybe at like 82,000 bucks. At that point, I might consider a position, but not for right now. I don't think that that's the wise thing to do. I want to see an obvious trade, not a subjective trade right there. Anyways, what else do we got across the lens? Yeah, I'll pin your message. Post your message maybe first, and then we can pin your message. I see a very interesting comment right here. Hamza says, why should we use trend lines? I don't fucking know. I don't use trend lines, so I don't care. Are you new here? Surely it's liquidity waiting to be taken by large. I feel these are like, it's liquidity to be taken. Whenever people mention the word liquidity, I think they just like got caught up in fucking marketing hype. Basically, it's like, did you forget a marketing term right there? Obviously it's not a marketing term, but my point is just, it's one of those fucking overblown, like mainstream terms that people hook onto and then they apply it to every situation when it doesn't even apply. It's like a nothing word. It doesn't even mean what you probably think it means to begin with. But anyways, why should we use trend lines? I don't think you should use trend lines. I don't use trend lines. Why? You're asking someone, why should we use trend lines who doesn't even use them to begin with? Should we not use higher highs, higher lows? I mean, I use higher highs and higher lows. That's called trend, in case you didn't know. Trend is very important. Trend is probably the one thing that supersedes everything else in terms of importance. It's also the least sexy thing out of anything, but it is the most ancient and most dependable form of analysis that actually does matter in my experience. Very, very important to actually understand trends, higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower highs, and just what is a local low and a local high in general to, you know, to be getting swing highs and swing lows from. But other than that, man, like order blocks, these sort of things, I mean, that is trend lines basically. When it comes to order blocks, I know people will disagree with this, but it is in some way, every order block starts with a trend line, to be fair. But not every trend line is an order block, obviously. But in my opinion, again, it's just another subjective thing. Look, if it works for you, fucking more power to you, man. Go for it. Do your fucking order blocks. Do your whatever the fucks. If it works for you, don't listen to what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. And it's not fucking trend lines, and it's not those sort of concepts. The reason why I don't like those concepts in my actual trading is because they are subjective. They are not objective. When you are in the moment, when you are presented with an issue, when you're in a trade, whether price action is going for you or against you, and you need to make a decision, you need to be able to make a decision objectively in the moment at a snap of a fucking finger. And it needs to be there. And how is it going to be there if it is based off of something subjective? You're going to guess yourself in the moment. You're going to guess, oh, is my trend line broken? Is this actually, is this actually an order block or is it not? Is it actually broken or not? Like, how do you decide that? And unfortunately, in those situations, when you start to hesitate, you're going to lose money over time. Maybe not on that particular trade, but if you take enough, what? Please check Discord. What is this? What is this? Better be good. Better be important. Hold on. Let's see. Hey, what the fuck? No, just tell him to do the front courtyard. Okay, front courtyard. All right, front courtyard. Front court. Hey, this motherfucker doesn't come when he's supposed to come. God damn it, man. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. God damn it. You hire people to do a job. You tell them a certain time, they agree to a certain time, they come many, 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 many hours before that time. First world problems, absolutely, but very fucking annoying. Anyways, it is what it is, man. Look, my point is that when it comes to when it comes to actually trading, in my opinion, you need a strategy that is built off of objective things, typically indicators, because they spit out a mathematical value that it might not be perfect, and it's not going to be perfect because nothing is perfect, but at least it spits out an objective mathematical value. When an RSI reads 30, it's an RSI read of 30. You don't have to guess yourself. And if your strategy tells you to sell when that RSI exceeds or is below some certain, threshold, then at least you have that, and there's no question about that. But when you're using trend lines, when you're using, these sort of more, I guess, smart money concepts, which in my opinion is just, I very rarely see people actually use these effectively. I'll just say it straight up. But hey, if you're doing it, I believe you, and more power to you. I hope you make as much money as possible. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter to me whether you use it or not, man. That's just what I've seen, just related to my experience. If that offends you, I'm very sorry. I don't know why that would offend you if you actually do make money using that shit, versus not. Again, more power to you. It shouldn't matter what the fuck I say about that. Anyways, yes. Okay. All right. Let's get into some actual Bitcoin's analysis here. I did think I forgot. I think I forgot to bring up my price stats chart right here. Where is it? Yes, there it is. All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on indeed. Oh, what do you know? The trade's already fucking happened. This is what sucks about this time. This is what sucks about this time zone, is that these scalping trades almost always happen before I do my videos, unfortunately. Now, we do sometimes see them happen after my videos as well, but the majority of them do happen before, unfortunately. Anyways, in this case, daily price action statistics Monday is a day which actually does have some of the highest positive returns for positive closing Mondays, but we've already seen that level wicked off from. That was 89,933. If you did take that short for a scalp opportunity, more power to you, man. You just, well, you actually had a pretty nice trade right there, or more than a couple $1,000 in your pocket. Not always going to be that big for these scalp trades. They're not intended to be that big, but if you are going to get the big ones, it should be on the same side of the current trend, and the current trend is to the downside. So that would have been one of the ones that you could have probably milked a little bit more from. If you do see the other side hit at 86,223, I would be looking for a bounce, but I would not get greedy with that one. I would really not get greedy with that one, because again, when you are trading contra trend here, you can get run over, and you cannot get greedy with, multi-$1,000 moves. Probably a multi-$100 move is okay, but a couple $1,000, I wouldn't be betting it on that, to be honest with you. Anyways, moving on from there, I think Rev and Ribbons have also been getting this in a pretty well automated way. You can see that as long as Bitcoin is below the midline right here, pressure is to the downside, and generally the lower end of that blue box is a legitimate target, where the arrow is kind of pointed to right here. I guess it's a little bit further away. There we go. Let's do it like this. Boom and boom. Very nice. Anyways, the lower end of the blue box right now is 85,500. I believe that still is one of the medicinal's targets as well. In fact, let's bring it up right here. I actually do not have this on my list. Let's see what we got. Where exactly was that one? Yeah, it was a 4-hour meta signal setup right here. Actually, target number 2 is 84,569. I believe we've already seen target number 1 hit. So if it does go for that, it does have a rather high probability, 63.5%. So I do think that is very much possible right here. And again, as long as Bitcoin is below that midpoint, which is now 89,320 on a daily closing basis, bias is to the downside. Now, my personal opinion is that we're not going to see like a true breakdown here. I think that we might test some downside. I think it's likely we're going to test some downside, but I don't think we're going to see a true downside breakdown. So, I'm personally not looking for a price below about $80,000 on a higher term time frame closing basis. But for right now, bias is to the downside still, whether it goes to 85.4, whether it goes to 83.5. I don't know, but probably somewhere in that pocket there. Still looking for a bounce out of this range, though, without any sort of severe downside initiated before a bounce. And then if severe downside happens, probably later on. Still working with that sort of a analysis on price action. And again, the daily long over here, that's still very much valid as long as Bitcoin's closing dailies above 84,581. So, that does have a rather high probability to at least hit target number 1 and target number 2. A lot lower, to be fair, but I still think that these are possibilities sometime early in the new year. And then, yeah, if things want to roll over from there, fucking let it roll over from there. There's many reasons to believe on the higher term timeframes that things will roll over from there, to be honest with you, as we have been saying. I'm not necessarily bullish here. I'm just looking for a bounce into a lower high, more or less. Anyways, I need to take off my sweatshirt. I'm getting a little bit too hot right now, a little bit too hot and steamy. Wearing a peasant shirt below as well, but that's okay, because who knows, and doesn't matter as well. Anyways, yes, okay, what was I going off of as well? Yeah, okay, so that also does imply that this morning's rejection at 90,328 is a very, very important high, meaning that if Bitcoin can reclaim that, we do have the early signal validated for a reversal here, a reversal which probably does include price action into the deep 90s or low 100s, if I had to guess. But ultimately, that same number has been knocked down, methodically as Bitcoin does get these rejections day over day. So, it's still going to take some time here, is my point. Just because we do have that resolution point a little bit lower now doesn't imply that Bitcoin's, destined to make it back above. It just makes it a little bit easier, I guess. But yeah, that would be my earliest warning to know that, yeah, you are going to see, maybe like a $10,000 swing the other way, probably into a lower high, in my opinion. But yeah, that's a big move. We still got the HPDR set up over here. The median has come down significantly, about where I was looking at about just below 101,000 US dollars. That is going to be a target on any sort of a bounce attempt. You can see that Bitcoin's been spending its time not bouncing for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, working on maybe 7 weeks here. So I do think that we are actually due for a move outside of this range between this week and next, most likely. I do think that this is happening very, very soon, to be honest with you. With volatility low like this and the HPRO turning up like this, I am still biased on a bounce, out of this region, and that meeting would be a very, very nice target if met. But that would also be a beautiful bull trap region as well, to be honest with you. So again, it's like I have to be very careful with what I'm saying, because I do think Bitcoin's going to bounce. I just don't think it's going to reverse. And if it does, hey, that's great. And we still have our line in the sand for declaring a reversal on Bitcoin, which at that point, it's just bullish, just looking towards prior highs and new highs. But that's 107,500. That's, nearly $20,000 away from where price action is right now. It's taken a lot of work to get up there, to be fair. Not impossible, but look, here is the bigger picture. Here's the yearly time frame for Bitcoin. I mean, look, if you are a trendline guy, if you are a price action guy, you're looking at this and you're chomping at the bit to get short on any sort of a rally. I mean, fuck, like it's probably going to retest the open of 2025, which is about $93,000. Maybe it goes a little bit higher than that, but I would imagine most price action people are looking at this as a major reversal right here. You got a massive long-legged doji dildo with a very long shadow to the upside. I mean, that is a traditional reversal, to be fair, on a yearly time frame. I mean, that's the swing high right there. It's got to come down after that and create a swing low, which obviously is going to be much lower than whatever low we had for this year, which is 74,400. So, that's not going to look too hot. Even if we go to like a quarterly time frame, I mean, this does have the bearings of a swing high, very obviously, and this is also coming alongside 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence. I mean, it's not fucking good, actually. It's actually not fucking good. And then the monthly as well. This one also kind of in limbo here, but did top out on bearish divergence as well. So, these sort of things do make me very defensive for 2026 for Bitcoin. For other markets, I'm not necessarily that way. So there is that disconnect there. Usually I want to have the same sort of bias as on traditional markets as I do on Bitcoin, or at least for the tech sector with NASDAQ, for example. These things typically do trade with each other, but Bitcoin is obviously weaker in this case, and it's going to take a really, really strong broad market to keep this thing up, in my opinion. So that's just not a good sign. If we go to stochastic momentum, these are all going to be down on the higher term timeframes. Here's your monthly continuing down as long as Bitcoin's below 123 almost. Quarterly timeframe is going to have its first cross to the downside this whole cycle. And that one comes down below 106. Maybe a bi-monthly. Bi-monthly is going to be down, obviously. 104 is a pivot right there. Maybe a 4-month time frame is interesting. Also going to be crossing to the downside for the first time in a long time, as long as Bitcoin's below 97,200 by the end of this year in 2 days. So barring a $10,000 rally before then, I mean, all of these things are going to be working hand in hand, and that's not necessarily going to be making me bullish. Can we get a bounce? Yes. Is that bounce likely to be a reversal to new all-time highs? In my opinion, probably not. No. But yeah, as far as why I really hesitate to get bearish in the short term right here, it really does come back down to Pesto's fear index, which is printing extremely fearful reads right now. Anytime that we see extremely fearful reads with the weekly stochastic oscillator turning up simultaneously, these have been the green vertical bars, and they have led to at least some pretty significant bounces in bear markets. And in the best of cases, it was just, major higher lows and macro uptrends. So in this case, I don't necessarily want to get short right here. But I do want to be aware that these sort of fear reads have really not happened when we go to the 2-week time frame in bull markets. I mean, anytime it's gotten this to this level or lower, or just anywhere even around this level, these have only happened in bear markets. I mean, this is not like really great history right here. I'll mark off a few of the prior times where we've seen this, because I've only briefly gone through this before. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I can find an instance where I'm wrong on this one. But we got there. Okay, we'll see where that is later. We got this one right here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see where these were. Yeah, okay, so this was all that bear market. This is not one right here. This is for the weekly time frame. This is also not one. Oh, fuck, I've kept all my weekly markings up there. All right, well, that's not it either. This one was, yes. This one was not, no. Yeah, this one, this one actually was. Hold on. Yeah, this one actually was. Okay, so at least there's that example right there. But other than that, I mean, all of these coming in bear markets, which is not great as well. So yeah, man. Yeah. becoming more and more difficult to find bullish hopium, to be honest with you. Not that really this channel is like is created on bullish hopium. I mean, obviously not. But at the same time, I think it does deserve to be said, just because right now there's just very few people even talking about Bitcoin. But for the people that I do see talking about Bitcoin, it's usually like with a bullish twist, and I'm not seeing it myself right now. I'm just not seeing it myself. Hopefully I'm wrong. But that's what the data is, and the data is what I go by. So it is what it is, man. Anyways, let's get on to some of these super chats. See what probably stocks people want to look at right now. No one's really interested in shitcoins anymore. Toba the Good says, Tesla daily weekly, please. By the way, Jesus loves you. Is it Bear Jesus? Because hopefully I really want him to love me with his massive red dildos, to be honest with you. I actually got a pocket Jesus the other day from an interior designer that came to my house and helped me design my living room. It was very nice, in fact. She just gave us some pocket Jesus after that. Oh man, it's good. It's very good. Anyways, Tesla here on the weekly time frame poked its head out for, I think, what was a slightly new all-time high. Yeah, it was a slightly new all-time high. Now coming back down, reconnected with that red 5 EMA on the weekly time frame. Overall, this is good in my opinion. Overall, this is very likely to lead towards new highs, but in the short term, do I think it plays out into a corrective higher low? Yeah, I mean, you can see right here it's dropped down, filled the gap from Friday, the 12th of December. I think you probably get an intraday bounce back up around like 475 to 480 between today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And then from there, does it actually take off? I don't know, perhaps yes. I mean, in this case, you do have the potential for a higher low right here. Just needs to hold this morning's low at 461. So that's a pretty easy invalidation point. If it does lose it, then yeah, I think you take another step down to 450. But, these things are relatively short term, in my opinion. It's the higher term time frames that I really want to be focused on right here. And I'm looking at these as generally good, generally conducive towards new highs at some point in 2026. So yeah, that's really all that I got to say about that, actually. Anyways, we got Steven Schickman. What's up, man? Good to see you. But it's Steven Schickman, but new tickers. We got Lunar on the daily. Lunar is actually one that I bought myself. So full disclosure, I do hold this as well. I'm waiting for the monthly closure though. If the monthly can very specifically close above the price action pivot here, which is 1448, by end of this month, in 2 days, in 2 days from now, I will be happy to hold this thing for quite some time. I'm looking at this as a reversal. I'm looking at this as higher lows on the monthly time frame, and likely an accumulation phase going all the way back to 2023 over here. So if it does resolve above that price point that we spoke about earlier, then yes, I look at this as ready to try some upside. The accumulation phase is likely done. Quarterly looks pretty good to me as of right now. Again, it's a long 2 days left. But if it can just finish above those numbers, then yes, I am happy to hold a position here for the long term, for some time. But you're on a daily and a weekly, so maybe that doesn't matter as much. Daily time frame, kind of similar to Tesla right here, or Tesla that we just saw earlier. If it does want to drop down for a higher low, anywhere around 1440, that's still going to be a major pivot on this one. Needs to remain above there in order to remain in a strong position, which it is right now, to be fair. Weekly time frame. Tried to break out last week, did not officially secure it, but this week, if it can close above, let's say, kind of where it's at right now, then yeah, by end of week, I'd say that's a breakout as well. But you're going to know before then anyways, because the monthly closure is on Wednesday or on Wednesday's daily closure. So you're going to know before that. I don't even think the weekly is that important right here. It's the monthly. It's the higher term time frames that matter right now, because they're actually closing a little bit sooner. So overall, this does still look like a reversal to me, and it does look like I'll probably be holding this one, but still want to see Wednesday's closure above 1448. I'm holding that one. Anyways, Steven Schickman comes back and he says, Ethereum, oh man, we started off good. Now we're going to the crypto shitcoins. Let's see, Ethereum over here back down below $3,000. Just can't catch a fucking break on this one, can it? Anyways, daily, weekly, daily time frame. Again, a little bit weaker than Bitcoin here. In order for me to declare a short-term reversal, I need to see a closure back above 2 Sundays ago's high, the 21st of December. That would be the price action pivot at 3076. Above there, yeah, I do think that you do have a nice rally, probably back up towards 3,500. That could carry on for a little bit more as well. Probably easier to watch Bitcoin here if that were to happen. Bitcoin's reversal point's a little bit more obvious. In the meantime, though, Ethereum is a little bit more on the weaker side, and it does to me look like it wants to, pop back down to 28.50. So until it actually crosses and reclaims that number to the upside, 30.76, I'm looking for this one to come back down on bias towards downside. Same shit as Bitcoin, basically. You have to follow the trend, and in this case, maybe back down around 27.50-ish region. Looking at higher term timeframes here, I know you didn't ask about them, but I'm just curious. Quarterly, I'm really not going to like if it finishes the month out below 3,000. Yearly is weird. I'm not really getting much from this. Maybe we can go to like a 6 month and this will have something of interest. It's kind of a strange one as well. I don't know what to make of the 6 months, so I won't make anything of it. Yeah. It's just taking every opportunity that it gets to fail, of course. That's just what Kryptons do. That's just what the old cryptos does. What's up, Sam Fragnosi? He says, do you look for any low-term time frame confirmations to confirm a high-term time frame EMA is going to hold a support? You can, yes, but at the end of the day, the time frame that you're looking at is always going to hold precedence, right? So you can see, you can look at low-term time frames if you want to make a sort of earlier decision, but just understand that it's always never going to matter as much as the time frame at hand that you are specifically focused on. So if you're okay with, like, when you take things that way, you have more risk, but you also get more reward. And that is a valid trade-off, in my opinion. It's not the trade-off that I personally like, so I don't do it that way, but I can understand that. And I think that that's a valid way of doing things. So can you do it, or do I do it? No. Can you do it? Yes, absolutely. Just know that you are going to inherently have more risk, but you also have more reward as well. So it's something that, you need to make a decision for yourself if that's okay. Do you have the equity to survive the bigger losses if they do come? These sort of things I think are really important to focus on and like deliberately decide if you accept it or not. So yeah, man. Can you do it? Yes. Do I do it? No. So I wasn't really sure if the question was for me specifically or just in general. But yeah. Anyways, Crypto Rect says ICNT on the 4-hour daily, Sir Crown. What's up, man? Sure. ICNT. It sounds like a stonk. It's a China technology ETF. All right. I was always told by one of my mentors, do not invest in any Chinese bullshit. In those exact words, by the way. I always remember that when I look at Chinese stuff. To be fair, this does have a long-term uptrend. That's good, but it's only been around since 2024. So that's not the sort of history sample I'm looking for. So you're on a 4-hour daily. Sorry. Maybe you're even on a crypto as well. Let me just double check that there's not. Of course, it's probably a crypto. It's probably fucking crypto. Actually better, in my opinion. Look, there's not much history here as well, but at least it has a history of going up, and that's good. And for me, this one is actually breaking out to the upside right now. Of course, when it comes to shit coins, you got to be aware that these things can reverse at a fucking moment's notice. But in order for this one to reverse, I need to see it come back down below the price action pivot here, below 35 cents. Until then, this one is actually poised for a real breakout, in my opinion. But that is the most important high or low, and I would be bullish as long as you're above there. How much is it going to matter on some random shitcoin like this? I don't fucking know. But yeah. It's a shitcoin, so probably not at all. But yeah, my point is that, look, if I had to pick a position, it's gonna be long, but I prefer that it wasn't a shitcoin that looked like this. Because these things do just fail at a moment's notice. But hey, right now I'd be looking up, and I'd probably be looking up around like 65 cents, 65 to 70 cents on a breakout, something like that, man. All right, cool. What else we got over here? Okay, we got Charles McIver. Charles says PAAS on NICE. Okay, no problem. Let's see what this is. Pan American Silver Corporation. Yeah, a lot of silver requests recently. Daily, weekly, monthly. All good, man. What kind of gun? I got a Walther PSP Pro. Yeah, true American now. Yeah. Feels good. Also a little bit scary. No, it feels good. Got a nice Lockford and everything. It's good. Anyways, PAAS, you were on a daily, weekly, monthly. Let's start high and then go low. Yeah, very, very good right here. Breakout is real. I don't think that this thing is done right here. It's probably going to have a pretty sizable pullback alongside silver spot. But I wouldn't be shaken by this, to be honest with you. This thing can come down to like $50 or $49 easily, which is a big percentage move from where you're at right now, and still be bullish. It's higher lows as long as you're above more or less like $48. I'm not really concerned about this thing. It's the weekly and it's the monthly time frame that's really telling the story here. The monthly is having a full-on massive girthy green dildo opening and closing back above prior all-time highs. To me, that is a very strong signal that you have a real breakout here, and it's probably not going to be done on this current dildo. It's probably going to be at least another one or two, I'd imagine, at least. So, in 2026, I'm looking for new highs on something like this. I'd be looking for new highs. Here's your quarterly, here's your 6-month chart. These are all very good. And I do think just generally, I'd be looking for this thing to get up somewhere around 60, 65, something like that. Let's just say like 65, sometime between now and the end of the first half of 2026, probably throughout the earlier portion of 2026. I'd probably say in the first quarter of 2026. But yeah, overall quite good. In the short term though, are you going to get a pullback? Yeah, obviously you're getting a pullback right now. Can pull back all the way to like $48. That's fine. Still a higher low there. Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that the pullback's done just yet. I think it probably does take a little bit of a step lower, but these are small things in the grand scheme of things. I don't feel that confident about that statement anyways. That's why, if I'm a higher time frames like this, as you requested, I'm just looking for this one to go up basically. And again, not overthink it. David says, hey, can you please look at PAL on the 4-hour daily weekly? Sure. I think this is a crypto shitcoin, isn't it? Maybe not actually, because nothing's popping up with that. So I'm guessing it's palladium. Yeah, everyone's obsessed with the fucking metals right now, but I get it. Like they're the things that are moving. It's the hot thing right now. Metals, so hot. Metals. Yes, we love the metals. We love the metals, and I love the penis. And this metal is also going up. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. However, in the short term, I do think you get a pullback here, man. I think that you get a bit of a pullback. And hopefully this thing sets in a higher low above about 131, 132 region. But I do think you're going to pull back around there. So in the short term, I would get ready for a move like that. And then hopefully it reverses somewhere around like low 130s. And if it does that, yeah, I think it can be okay. But for right now, be aware that if this thing in any way, shape, or form violates with a weekly closing basis below the most recent price action pivot low, which is 123 and 10 cents, I would get actually, I don't know if bearish is the right word, but I would be looking at this as a failed rally and very likely to come back down to the range lows at $85-$90 if that were to happen. But until then, I guess some more like this, like a higher low there, try some more upside of, later on, something like that, man. But I'm not really seeing like super, super obvious signals here long term. So that's kind of throwing me off. Yeah, I don't see anything like super, super obvious right now, but I'm more inclined to say that it will set in a higher low above 130. I am more inclined to say that. If it doesn't, and if it comes back down below 130 before end of year, that would be a really, 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 really concerning signal to me. And I probably wouldn't want to hold this thing, but above there, it might be okay. It's just a weird chart, so I don't have like super strong opinions on this thing at the moment. Yeah, if you're just on a 4-hour and daily, then yeah, I think you got some downside here. Bounce relatively soon on the 4-hour time from around 144, but beware of lower high below 160, and then I think you got to push down to like 135-ish, something like that, man. Anyways, whoops, I just missed the next one. My apologies. We have Arjun. What's up, Arjun? Morning cheese well, sir. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm looking at a stock Path on the daily. Okay. All right. Let's check it out. This is a new one for me as well. Path, UI Path. Okay. Sounds cool. Yeah, overall, well, this is a 4-hour time frame. Hold on, we don't really care about that. I don't think, probably at least. Daily time frame, good as well. I do think that this one just set in a higher low here on last Tuesday's low at 1568. I'm bullish as long as you're above there. In the short term, I do think that you pop back up towards that prior high that you saw from early December. Long term, don't like this chart because it just goes down. But in the short term, I would probably be looking for that move. And then come back to it after that. But yeah, man, hopefully, luckily you didn't ask about anything above a daily because it starts to look pretty weird above a daily, to be honest with you. So yeah, man. All right, one moment. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. What else we got over here? Chris Vela says Bitcoin Cash. Okay, Bitcoin Cash. Fair enough. Hey, it's you, not me. So have fun with that. Yeah, failing. Look, if you got rid of the name and you showed me any other chart like this, I would say, yeah, looks good. Love that higher low at 446. Probably bullish. But it is Bcash, and Bcash just has a history of failing every fucking rally it gets. So I'm going to take the bitch way out here, and I'm going to say, okay, where's my bitch way out? There we go. My bitch way out is saying that this thing, I really would not declare a reversal here until you're back above the monthly price action pivot, and that is 640 on a monthly closing basis. Why? Again, if I was just looking at this chart without Bcash at the top left, I would say, yeah, this thing's probably going to reverse here. But it's Bcash. It always fails, man. It always fucking fails. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that probably gets rejected here. When I look at the weekly, this is a strong move, no doubt about it. When I look at the daily short term, a little bit of a swing high, probably swings back down to like maybe 585. That's not the move that you're looking for. Yeah, man, I really don't know what to say to you, because my mind's telling me no and my heart is telling me, wait, how does it go? My mind's telling me no. My heart, what the fuck does he say? What does that rapist say? That rapist say? I'm talking about fucking R. Kelly, okay? Anyways, I'm inclined to say that it's just gonna fail, because it is Bcash after all. But objectively, like this looks really like it wants to break out, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if this was named anything other than Bcash, I'd say this is a fucking easy one. It's gonna pop up to like 900. Yeah, my body's telling me, yeah, something like that, man. What are you talking about, Elsa? The dog is not scared. She's inspired by my angelic voice. And you are being a hater to keep me down so that I don't break out into a big singing star and win American Idol and become famous. Is that even a show anymore? There's like kids who are listening to this who are like in their 20s, and they're like, what the fuck is American Idol? Like, you boomer. I'm boomer maxing, okay? Relax. Anyways, fuck, this chart really bothers me. It's Bcash. It's going to fail, but at the same time, it's a strong chart. Yeah, I don't have a good analysis for you on this, man. My good analysis is a bitch analysis, which is close above 645 and breakout. Until then, just assume it's going to fail, because Bcash is at the top left of the screen right there. Don't be shy, says Lamo. I reacted the exact same. I forget what that was too, but nice. MG says silver daily, weekly, monthly. Sure, man. XAG USD. Okay. All right. Daily, weekly, monthly. Again, starting high here, finishing low. I don't think silver's topped yet. I do think that this is a pullback, and I do think that you're going to pull back, maybe back, probably back down to like 65 at least. If things get really crazy, maybe more like 61. But long term, I'm bullish on this as long as you're above about 55. So you can have a pullback, a pretty severe pullback here, and still put in a higher low above 55. That's kind of my point. And I do think that you will have a pretty nasty pullback too. I mean, shit, like coming down from, $83 to 55 or even just 60 is a 30% pullback. That's big. That's really big, especially for traditional markets and commodities. That's tremendously big. So, one point is, yes, short-term pullback, somewhere down around there. As long as you're above the pivot that we gave out earlier, which I already forgot, which is 55 or 50, 55, then I would be looking at that and saying, hey, this is probably gonna be a higher low, and maybe got one more attempt at a new all-time high. But for now, it's a pullback. It's a pullback. I see two double extremes on the daily BBWP here. And whenever I see that, it's almost undoubtedly always gonna get a pullback or just an opposite move direction from whatever the current move is. So this is obviously to the upside. So now it's going to be the downside. until the BBWP cools off and comes down to at least the midline. That's a 50 percentile read. So if it can do that, then, and correct down to those numbers, I think that's going to start to look pretty good. But for now, I would just be looking for a corrective move to the downside. Anyways, Asti, hey, what's up, Asti? N-use daily, weekly stonk. Sure. Okay. New holdings. What could this be? Daily and weekly. Okay, what does a monthly look like? I need to find something a little bit higher, maybe. Again, I'm not... Overall, it's bullish, Asti. I'm just trying to figure out if this thing wants to pull back first before continuing to new highs. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If it does, $15 is where I'd be looking towards. Overall, though, as long as you're above the price action pivot, which is 14.5, I think that this thing is still bullish. And I do genuinely think that this thing is still bullish. I mean, when I look at the quarterly, when I look at the higher term timeframes, I don't think that this thing is put in its all-time high just yet. Any downside move you get here is likely a correction in the short term. Yeah. I mean, the more I look at this, the more I'm inclined to say short term. Yeah, probably does pull back a little bit here. Just don't want to see it violate $14.5. I generally think you're going to probably march on to new all-time highs in 2026, but short term should pull back at least a little bit more. I'd say at least back down around $16. Maybe goes a little bit lower. That's fine. Again, pivot is at 14.5. I think you probably got at least some new highs in 2026 at some point, probably earlier in Q1 if I had to guess. We got CCAS. He says, MicroStrategy, please. Short-term and long-term hold. Okay, cool. MicroStrategy. So I think it's still probably basing off of like 150. Yeah, this thing is, I mean, it looks like a Bitcoin chart, but just uglier. Just a lot uglier. Anyways, while the rest of the market is flirting with all-time highs, this thing is coming back down to levels not seen since, more than a year ago. Look, do I think it's going to officially test the weekly 200 simple at about 144, 145 region? It might put in a wick there. I don't think you're going to break it on this next pass if it even gets there. I think just like Bitcoin, this is a bouncing area, and if it's going to be bearish, you get the big move to the downside later at some point in 2026, but not before a bounce attempt first. You got a big major moving average right there. I'm thinking if you come off the quarterly, it's a 21 EMA. You're coming off of bearish divergence as well. So, these are very common bouncing areas. I do think it is ugly, and I do think it very well could go lower later, but I do think you're due for a bounce here, more or less. This has been a straight down move with really no reprieve since, October. So trends, this is obviously a downtrend, and I do think that it does want to come lower maybe later on, but, trends include both lower lows and lower highs, and this has just been a low, just moving to new lows. So if I had to guess, I still think you're going to get something like this. Might spike down to 145 first and then bounce. Maybe it does it from here, whatever it is. I think that you are going to bounce somewhere into the mid twos, like 250, let's say, just as like a nice round even number. And then if it wants to come down and roll over later, yeah, let it do that. But I would have a hard time seeing it just like truly crash through right here and come all the way down to like $80 in the short term. I think that you probably get a bounce temp before that first. But yeah, no doubt about it. It's a fucking ugly chart. Very bad. Shit, I look at the bi-monthly chart. Maybe it does just shoot through $100. But again, ultimately, if I had to bet on a direction, it's going to be a bounce first, down later. Nothing's really changed here. I mean, it's been doing the same shit as Bitcoin for the past 7 weeks in a range, sideways as fuck. There's way more interesting things across the lands. As far as short term, like I said, might have one more spike to the downside because I'm not really seeing many bottoming signals on this thing right here. In fact, I'm not seeing really any bottoming signals at all just yet. So maybe it does tag 144, 145 first and then bounce, but something like that, man. I just don't think you're going to have like a true slide to significantly new lows from here without a big bounce first. Durfoot says, could you look at ORE stock or ORE chart? Sure. Orizone Gold Corporation, nice. Or maybe it is, probably is that because I don't see any US markets there. Anyways, let's check it out. I need to adjust my seat here so I don't get hemorrhoids. Anyways, let's see. I also think that's funny, but it's not funny at all. One moment. All right, cool. ORE. Let's go high. Let's see what this one's looking like on the monthly. Yeah, monthly is back towards the top side of the range, and I actually do think that this one probably does break out given enough time. Does it break out right now? What are you laughing at, sir? Seriously, what are you laughing at? It's not ORE on Solana. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. All right. Is this even a thing? Yeah. Oh God. Sir, I got bad news for you, man. It's a no. Look, man, it's getting a bit of a bounce here. To me, all of these things are just destined towards long-term down-only trends. And when I see something that's blown off its top like this, I'm pretty convinced that it's probably seen its all-time highs for life. And this move right here is perfectly rallying into a major moving average in which I look for lower highs, or I look for just trend moves. And so, you know, it might spike a little bit higher towards 80 cents. That's fine. But as long as you are below the price action pivot of 84 cents, I'm looking for this one to just continue to roll over and down and down and down and down again. It's very likely to be a down only chart. See these a million times per cycle. You know, it looks kind of appealing right now. And look, if I'm going by classical TA, you know, I can understand that. I can understand a little bit of optimism right here, but I just don't see that workout almost ever with shitcoins. Almost ever, man. Almost ever. So, you know, looking at this, I'm a lot more inclined to say you probably just got your next lower high right here at about 75 to 76 cents. Maybe it spikes a little bit higher and then rolls over. Maybe it just rolls over from here. I don't know, but I think you're a lot more likely to come back down to 40 cents than you are to push through, for example, to like $1. I don't think that that's happening. Or if it does, I guess I'm just wildly wrong. I mean, it is what it is, but it won't be the first time. But ultimately, it's a shit coin. It's had its blow off top. I'm going to be betting on downside. I know it's a crazy idea, but yeah, man. Hemorrhoids are not funny. Lol. That's right. They're not funny. Ha ha ha. Why laughing, sir? We just looked at OER chart. That one also gave me hemorrhoids on my fucking eyes. LP Philosopher says, in the past, Bitcoin went turbo bear after losing the 3-day 200 moving average. And tether dominance is grinding range highs too. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not arguing against Bitcoin being bearish at all, man. I think there's plenty of reasons on much higher term timeframes than the 3-day time frame. But yeah, on the 3-day time frame, losing the 200 simple, that has generally been bad in the past. I mean, that's what led to the major move to the downside in 2022 after the bull trap from about 40,000 all the way down to, I mean, the lows at 15. Over here in 2018, you know, Bitcoin loses a 3-day and then comes down another like 50% to, you know, 3,000 and in 2014, same thing, you know, yeah, you know, I agree with you. It's obviously not a good sign. Add it to the list, add it to the fucking list, man. Add it to the fucking list. Now, I would say there is one big counterpoint to the kind of vision that I have for Bitcoin that this setup would significantly disagree with. And it is that anytime Bitcoin has lost the 300 simple, the 200 simple in the 3-day time frame, dyslexia really biting my fucking asshole right there. But anytime that has done that, it's basically just been straight down after that. And right now, you know, I'm anticipating a bounce for Bitcoin. So being a big bounce while also losing that 200 simple, I mean, those two things do not compute historically speaking. So, you know, if I'm looking at that, then I'd have to say, yeah, Bitcoin's probably had its bounce and it's just going to be down only from here. But again, I'm just inclined really not to say that as of this moment. I'm open to it, of course, but either which way, look, I guess I am bearish in that case. Either which way, it's just, does Bitcoin get a bounce first or not? Anyways, Stan Kyle says, Stan, do you have two first names, man? Very suspect. VG Venture Global Stock. Got it, man. How to identify the bottom? There's many ways to do that, but let's look at the chart first. First, it depends what time frame you're on. Something like this, you don't really look for bottoms, man. You just ignore it unless you feel like you really like it or you have some sort of insider information. Okay, so do you have a swing low right here? Yes, you do have a swing low right here. Why? Because you've actually reversed above the prior dildo's high on the actual low and closed above there and also regained the 5 EMA. Now, confirming a swing low is not the same as confirming a bottom. You cannot confirm a bottom until you're way far away from the bottom, which I'm sure you're not actually like trying to do right now, because it sounds to me like it's like pick a low, tell me how to get the fucking low. We do have some signals here that, well, hold on. We don't have any signals yet that are worth even. Look, man, this is fucking bad. This is a swing low. It's gonna rally up maybe a little bit more from here, but this is fucking bad. Like you're trying to pick a bottom on something that's probably going to be going down for a long time. That's my opinion on this thing, man. Like, look, it's been around since when? Since January of this year. And while everything else in their fucking mothers were making new all-time highs, this thing was putting in lower highs. That's not a good sign, man. It's not a good sign at all. Even if it rallied all the way to $9 here, which is a tremendous move, by the way. I mean, it's very tradable for sure, and it very well may happen. This technically is probably not going to be the actual bottom, quote unquote. Really depends on what time frame you're talking about. But if you're just looking for a swing low, then yes, I do think you have a swing low. Obviously, it's already rallied off that low, so it's not very helpful for me to say that. And I think you probably rally up to like $8-9, but shit, man, no shit, man, shit, man. Like this is not fucking good. This has been one of the easiest time for stocks to just make new all-time highs. Just go float on to new all-time highs. It's easy. You can do it. Anyone can do it. Even the shittiest of stocks are doing it. But this thing isn't. It's not a good sign in my opinion. So, I think whatever rally you're going to get here is going to ultimately be a lower high, and then you're going to move low over time. So if you're talking about bottom, like macro bottom, I certainly am not calling this the macro bottom. I'll tell you that. I want to see extreme volatility. I want to see extreme volume. I want to see some sort of divergences. And I want to also see an asset that actually has a history of going up. And this one does not. It only has a history of going down, even during a bull market. So for me, it's a no. For me, it's a no. Yeah, man. Again, if you have any sort of information or you just like the stock, that's a different thing. But I have no dog in this fight. So yeah. Sorry, man. Mr. Patel. Sorry, man. I can't say your first name. I'm limited by my English speaking abilities. You're looking for RIVN. Sure, man. I got you. So for the short term, RIVN. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I still think that this one's breaking out. I know you asked about short term, so let's go down to a daily. I think that this one's in the process of breaking out right here, man. I'm bullish on this thing as long as you're about 19.25. So I think in the short term, you probably pop back up towards those prior highs, if that's what you mean. If that's what you mean by short term. I think the weekly time frame is also switching around all major moving averages into bullish posturing, and it's bouncing off the exact level you'd want to see it bounce off of. So yeah, I'm bullish as long as you are above that number. And I think that this has a real potential to be a real reversal here. Unlike that last shitcoin chart that we saw, this thing actually does have some higher lows here. It doesn't have any higher highs yet, but it does have some higher lows. So I think it actually has a shot. It actually has a chance. At least it's showing a little bit of life. And so I'd give it a chance here. Ondo Poncho, what's up, man? Bring back the outro. PS, the H pass is the shit. Indeed it is, man. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of people and even myself, like I've been taking some, as the UK people would say, cheeky scalps using that, man. It is kind of like a guilty pleasure, especially when I'm awake and I can actually see it. It's one of the only things that I do manually in trading now. And it's just like as a complete fucking, it's a complete like itch to scratch for me. It really is. But I do enjoy it. So fair enough. Yeah, man. Yeah, I love it. Anyways, Play B says TTWO on the weekly. Okay. In your opinion, do you think GTA 6 release will put in the top? It very well might, man. I mean, that is kind of like the way things generally go, right? The big news, the big drop, the big announcement is when major highs or major lows are typically made. So probably, but for now, I wouldn't try to overthink it. I would just be bullish. This is a bullish chart, sir. It's a bullish chart. Now, what time frames are we looking at? Well, you're looking at the weekly. Overall in the daily, I'm just looking between about 260 on the upside versus the 200 simple here at 235 on the downside. I think as long as you hold that, it's generally bullish. Weekly time frame, short term, if you pull back to 252, that's fine. I do think that this one will, however, retest 262. So I don't think you're ready to like break out exactly right now, but if I'm looking at the weekly, I'd be looking at both of those numbers as relevant. Both of those numbers is likely to be tested in the next week or two, and then a breakout to follow at some point in 2026. I mean, it's already broken out, to be fair. It's just continuation basically in 2026. But let's see. So if that theory is correct, then we would have expected a top when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, right? And when did that one come out? Let's ask the genius at ChatGPT. All right. What? You can't use AI because it destroys the planet? Oh, thank you for letting me know the news in Finland. Don't use AI. It'll destroy the planet. Also, don't eat meat. It's bad for you and also bad for the environment. Make sure not to do your holiday sauna this year because it is bad for the environment. Hey, do you want to eat ham for Christmas? Don't do that. Why? Because it's bad for the environment and also not safe. When was GTA 5 released? Let's see. Much hate from Alabama. What's up, Mr. Bob Walters? Let's see. It was 2013 September. All right. 2013 September. Okay. 2013 September was where exactly? Right here. No, it actually just continued on with the mega massive breakout, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say in this case, that theory is disproven. Anyways, my apologies, got all sorts of charts going on over here. Let's see, Vince have pH 8. Do you have a pH of 8? Is that good or bad? It sounds very acidic, bro. Anyways, NTR on the weekly. Gotcha, man. NTR. Cheers, mate. Cheers indeed. Nutrien. Not the best chart, not the worst chart, but I do like the higher low on the monthly right here, and I do think that that is significant in this particular instance, and I would be looking for this one to reapproach the $65 highs. And any sort of a monthly closure above there, or even weekly closure above 65.08, the price action pivot there, I would call a reversal. And you actually do have an inverted head and shoulders reversal pattern here. You got your left, your derp, and your right. And in this case, we could make a nice neckline right about there. And we could make a nice implied target, again, assuming it actually does reclaim the breakout. And if it does, I'd be looking somewhere around 80, 82 and a quarter. It'd be a big move, be a very big move. But yeah, that's contingent upon this thing's ability to close a weekly above kind of where it's at right now, actually. Basically where it's at right now, 62.70. If it closes the monthly above there as well, I'd say that that's a really, really good sign. I think the weekly 200 simple here is probably a better validation point for the weekly, which is slightly higher at 63.90, but that would be particular to a weekly closing basis. Either way, though, I actually do kind of like the way that this one does look, and I'd only get bearish on it if it did come back down below your November lows. Sorry, your mid-November low at 54.5. Below there, I actually would get bearish on it to come back down to December lows from last year, and I don't know, probably just new lows after that, I guess. But right now, it's actually in a strong position, and I do think it has a real legitimate chance to break out. And we are getting some technical signals with volatility rising and hidden bullish divergence that suggests, an upside breakout is likely. It's more likely here, in my opinion. So yeah. All right, cool. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Elsa, do you know what Roll Tide means? Burning Crusade releasing has been a great bear market indicator. Really? All the nerds are going to go back to play World of Warcraft. I mean, fuck, I'm that nerd who needs to go back and play World of Warcraft too. Shit, man. I have so many hours played in that fucking game. It's unbelievable. What did you say? Does it mean I have AIDS? Well, if you look at my body with all these fucking growths on them, I mean, I've got something. Do you want to find out what it is? Would you like to have some sexual relationships with me or not? Anyways, Garrett says, Dear Genghis Krong, what's up, man? Humbug and disgust from Colorado. Good state. Beautiful state indeed. Oracle, 4-hour daily weekly. I got you, man. ORCL, Oracle Corporation. Start high and finish low. I think my LARP lines here are still generally about correct. I think you're going to spend some time going sideways at this current level. Not really making new lows below 177, not really making new highs above 225, and just being boring for a while. And then come back to it after that. I really don't think that this thing's going to be doing all that much. In the short term, I do think that you come down a little bit, though. Daily time frame is a downtrend. Daily time frame does have hidden bearish divergence. Daily time frame is coming off of extreme volatility. I think all of that leads towards another retest of around 180-ish, maybe the official low at 175, 176, or whatever it is. But my main message here is I think you're going to create a sideways range and play between these two price action pivots here. I really love this indicator for that purpose. It really gets these incredibly well. So Short term comes back down. Just don't think you're going to make significantly new lows. Probably bounces again, probably trades sideways, probably tries another upside move. I think it's just stuck in this range for a long time though, man, because this was a pretty epic run. And I think this is going to be a consolidation that goes on for a while, man. I think it goes on for a while, and maybe at some point even leads lower as well. Maybe 150. I would look at that as like probably a true low, but let's give it some time, man. Give it some time to shake itself out, because I don't think this thing is going to be what like Bitcoin's doing right now. It's just going to be sideways for like a month or two. Be boring as shit. Let's see. We'll have to relearn how to use your guy in WoW. Really? Is it that much different now? Fuck, I don't even know if I remember. No, there's no way that I don't remember it. My muscle memory is so fucking good because I have like 200 days played. 200 days played. Do you understand what that means? A day is 24 hours. Okay, so there are 200 days of 24 hours each in which I have literally been at the computer playing fucking World of Warcraft, enjoying my life at the maximum. That's what peak performance really looks like, my friends. Oh yes, indeed. Oh yes, indeed. Do we need to admit you to the to my ICU? No, I am fine, but yeah, I'm just disgusting as hell right now, man. I got fucking bumps and blisters everywhere, man. It's insane. It's insane. I'm not even really sure what I have. I mean, they said I had hands, foot, and mouth disease, but I got shit on my ass and shit on my peignoir and shit on my ball sack too. It's not good. It's everywhere. It's literally fucking everywhere. So. Oh well. One positive dude says 4,800 hours. Sheesh. Sheesh indeed, sir. Sheesh indeed. Awesome picks. Great size. Look thick, solid, and tight. Keep me updated on your continued progress, bro. I appreciate that. I want to see how big and thick you can get, man. Yeah. Let's see. I logged in January 25 after being away for 5 years and everything was messed up. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it is viral. I think it's called hands, foot, and mouth disease, something like that. I think I got it from my 3-year-old niece. She's been playing with her shit too much or something like that, and I guess rubbed her shit-stained hands on my face, or who knows. We may never know the truth, unfortunately. Yarbrook says, I had a major accident playing hide and go seek. Had to go to the ICU. Oh, you clever motherfucker, you bastard. FC from SC says, hymns monthly, gracias amigo. Let's check it out. Hymns, I know Spanish in the way that a person who grew up in California knows Spanish, which is not much, but enough. Looks like a major top to me, man. I don't know if it's going to push down to like 24, 25 bucks from exactly here, but I do think you're going to end up there at some point. Yeah, I'm bearish as long as you're below 41 bucks. And I actually do think that you will get that move first before a bounce. Shit. Yeah, not good right there. I mean, look at the quarterly. This is a swing high right here. I think that you are coming down to mid or low 20s in Q1 of 2026. So at some point, I mean, it's a big time frame, but yeah. Yeah, I actually do think that you are going to drop through here. I think this is a little more likely right now. Zooster herpes. I don't know, something like that, man. Maybe some AIDS. Maybe I caught the gay. I don't know. Could be many things. It could be multiple things together as well. My dad had those blisters. It's bullous pemphigold, autoimmune condition. I don't know about that. I think I just caught a virus and I'm getting blisters after it. At least that's what the doctor says. The doctor says it's hand, foot, and mouth disease, whatever the fuck it is. When I worked at the bank, I knew 3 Spanish phrases: withdraw, deposit, and pay credit card. Beautiful. That's all you need. And gracias, and hola, and de nada, and... Wait, what? Hola, ¿cómo está? Yes. ¿Cómo está? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? La pluma es roja. What else? I don't know. Anyways, CCAS says AISP, shiz stonk, ready to bounce. I don't know. Let's see. It's a hell of a way to put in a super chat. Yeah, this is like a shitcoin chart right here. Ready to bounce? No. In my opinion, this thing is ready to push down to new lows. I think this thing's coming back down to like 2.25. This is bad, man. This is there's nothing good about this in my opinion. Here's your monthly. I think that this thing is going to push off and it's going to come down probably below $2 in 2026. This is very bad. This is the chart of a shitcoin, man. This is the chart of a shitcoin. So unless if like you have some insider information, in which case you should, tell me, or if you just really like the stock or you really believe in it, I don't see it on this thing, man. This is a down chart to me. It is a big down chart. I thought you had flu. It was the nurse practitioner said it was hands, foot, and mouth disease that I caught from a 3-year-old from my 3-year-old niece. I don't know what the medical name is for that, but basically you get blister. You get a fucking flu, so that sucks. Say what? It's called hands, foot, and mouth disease. Okay, whatever. Anyways, first you get a fucking flu where where at least for me, I got extreme chills and then extreme muscle aches. Like I didn't even want to walk, which is pretty unusual. And then big headaches too. Like that was pretty ugly as well. But my throat was fine. All of that was fine. Sinuses were fine. That lasted for like 2-3 days, pretty bad. And then it just went away overnight, basically. And then I got all these fucking rashes over myself. I thought I had bed bugs or something. Like I thought something was biting me. And then all of a sudden my whole body is inflamed with these massive, rashes. And then I got blisters on my wrists and on my feet and on my mouth. It was disgusting, dude. It's so disgusting. Like I should not be let out in public, honestly. Like I look like a fucking Frankenstein herpes monster. It's bad. It's really fucking bad. But hey, I did go out and I bought a gun, and that is not good news, okay? Because I looked like someone who should not have a gun. I looked like someone who was either going to kill myself or kill someone else. But I could buy as long as I have a license. Yeah, fever and chills can hurt like a motherfucker. That is absolutely true, man. It is crazy, man. It is crazy. The muscle aches really were terrible. I mean, the tension in my shoulders and in my neck, and then the headache that followed. I mean, wow. Really makes you appreciate your health when you have it, man. Like I always try to remember when I'm healthy, it's like just cherish this moment for a second, because at some point you're gonna be sick again and it's gonna fucking suck. I caught the herp. Yeah, that is probably also very popular, or very, very possible. I got it from Elsa, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Well, you don't know what diseases I have either. Anyways, we got some Cali people. We got some Midwestern people. We got some Southwestern people. We got some East Coast people. Charles Hoskins, new privacy shitcoin night. Yeah, short and long. I don't know. Is it available already? Yeah, it is. Apparently, it's already trading. I don't know. I guess we go to Kraken. Not a terror. I mean, look, going off of very little here, so it's not going to be super helpful. But at least it goes up. That's as bad as good as it can get right now. So yeah, I do think that all of these things though are on like a time schedule where they're gonna fall apart at some point. But yeah, for now, at least has a chance. Crown wasn't really just sick. He wanted to lay around and watch all the seasons of the Vampire Diaries. This is also true as well. It is my guilty pleasure. Vampire Diaries and Barbie Dreamhouse, and what's the other one? Oh God, you know what Elsa was watching when we had access to live TV for a little while? Jersey Shore reruns from like fucking 30 years ago. But if you didn't know, they actually... Okay, yeah, I did watch them with you, and I did find it entertaining. But they're actually making new seasons of this shit too. Like there are new seasons of those guys who are, I think some of them are in their 50s now, something like that, right? Some of them are in their 50s, right, Elsa? 40s. Okay, definitely 40s, but probably 50s for some. And like it's just kind of sad. Like I kind of feel bad for them, like they must be like down bad financially, or just, I don't know, in desperate need of cash, because it just looks bad, man. It looks sad. It just looks like people stuck in the past. Sad, man. Checking in from Ohio instead of Colorado today. Hell yeah, sir. Hell yeah. Colorado's still one of the most beautiful places. Ohio, I've never been there, but never hear anything about it, to be honest with you. All right, Mark Toes, let's do CAG for you. Let's look at CAG. Then I think we probably wrap this bitch up. Oh, this is a real stonk. Hold on. Cone Agra Brands. All right. So far, really bad. Maybe even worse. And even worse. Look, I really don't like this chart. I do think you're probably in for a pity bounce relatively soon. The reason why I say that is because on the quarterly chart, you are going to be coming off of the 200 simple here. And my rule is on any time frame, when you come into the 200 simple on the first pass after being away from it for a long time, just don't get overzealously bearish at that point. You're more likely to bounce around that region. Maybe it doesn't happen on exactly that period. Maybe it takes another few periods, but that is almost always a bouncy region. I would be saying the same thing here as well. So I do think you're going to bounce. I do think you find something resembling a range high at like 21, 22 bucks, something like that maybe. But long term, do I like this chart? Hell no. I mean, you already know that, man. But I do think that you're in for a bounce here at least. So I wouldn't be getting exactly bearish at this point. I'd be waiting for a bounce, and I don't know, if you really wanted to short it, you probably get that opportunity in like the mid 20s, hopefully. Jersey Shore folks living that Uncle Rico life, yeah, something like that, man, something like that. Yeah. Is Pauly D's hair still tall? It is. He looks actually the exact same. He actually looks the exact same. He probably looks the best out of any of them, though. You know who looks really crazy, though, is the situation. He's been getting like some sort of fat transfers in his face or something. Or just Elsa says it's like filler. He's getting fillers in his face, whatever the fuck that means. But like he looks like a giant baby face. Like he looks like a giant walking, screaming baby face, especially with like the short hair too. It actually looks like an overgrown baby face. It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. CKaz says, Ricey breakout when? November breakdown, bounce back. Let's check it out. RECEY. This is Rolls Royce. Wow. What a chart, man. It did pull back from this prior high here. So I'm inclined to say that does have significance. So I'm going to mark it off. Meaning that, and that's, yeah. If it can close back above 1612, I guess I'd call a breakout to prior highs. I mean, 20 bucks and beyond. I don't know, man. This is a pretty crazy run right here. I think that you are going to take your time consolidating. I don't think it's ready to break out this week or next week. I think you're going to do something like this at minimum, boom, 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 boom. And then maybe, if it's going to break out to the upside, I think that's what it's going to look like, but I don't think it's ready right now. There's a really easy way to be getting, bearish is not the right word. It's not bearish, but looking for a significant pullback. And it's just by violating on a weekly closing basis the price action pivot here at 13.25. Below there, yeah, I think that you have a sizable pullback down to 10, 11 bucks. But until then, it is in a strong position, and I do think that it has a chance to do something like this. Just must not violate 13.25. 13.25. Yeah, there we go. That is hand, foot, mouth. Yeah, it is 7 to 10 days. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. From gym or kid. Okay, so it is possible I got it from the gym. All right. Well, I guess that makes me feel actually less good about it because I can avoid seeing my 3-year-old niece. I mean, fuck her. Like, who cares? But the gym, I can't avoid that. Okay, joking. If any of my family members are listening to this right now, it's called a joke. It's called a fucking joke. Okay. And also, don't let your kid around me when they're sick and touching their shit and putting their shit on my face. Also, don't do that as well. Anyways, let's go look at Zakarian. He's looking at Iron, IREN. What is this? Is this a Bitcoin miner or something? Or why do I know this name? I think you just had a parabolic blow off top right there is what I think he had. Oh, yeah. Okay. Is this thing finally done? In the short term, I think you're going to come back down and actually retest those December lows, maybe even a little bit lower towards 29.5, 29.25. Something like that. Yeah, I'm not a humongous fan of it right here because it's not super obvious, but the daily time frame wants down, the weekly time frame wants down. So I do think your next move is to the downside. You got hidden bearish divergence right here, 1, 2, 3 drives. I don't think it's like a critical move or nothing like that, but back down to 33 bucks or maybe even all the way down to 27.5, something like this. Probably another bounce attempt there though, but is that bounce going to reverse back to prior highs? That I really don't know. I really don't know on this thing. There's not enough history here. Just for right now, I think that this thing is going to correct lower. That's what I feel very confident about and feel very strongly about, correcting lower here. I wouldn't be calling anything a reversal until you're back above 58 bucks. Until then, just let it go to the downside and hopefully form something resembling a low. But I don't see anything resembling like a major low here yet. No extremes anywhere just yet. So yeah, I think this one continues to trend to the downside from here, man. It's Bitcoin mining plus AI data centers. Wow, that's some pretty good narratives right there. But yeah, I don't think that's going to save it in the short term here. But yeah, maybe it comes down here and then it does put in something resembling a low, and then we can come back to it after that. But for right now, I'd just be looking sideways and down, man. I think you got some more downside here. Okay. I think we should probably shut it off on that note. I need to take another fucking Epsom salt bath because I'm itchy as hell. It's really been so gross, man. It really is so gross. Like, I am disgusting. Elsa should never touch me ever again. She should look at me with disgust. She should look at me like a fucking leper at this point. It is unbelievable. How could you ever touch me again? How could you ever have sex with me again? You can't do that. I'm disgusting. I'm a non-person to you anymore. But it will happen. And it will happen now. No, kidding. Anyways, I'm going to sign it off on that note, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you on this nice little Monday morning. Apologies for all of these sick and twisted and nasty jokes, but that's what you come here for. You come here for a silly goose time and also some chart analysis as well. Yes, the horror of jokes. Yes, indeed, the horror of jokes. But yeah, man, this week, I really do think it's going to be a pretty boring week for markets in general, especially Bitcoin. And then we get the real market, at least after Wednesday, and then probably more like next Monday. What typically happens in my experience for traditional markets and Bitcoin by extension, because they do kind of trade hand in hand, is that the week of Christmas and then the last week of December, so that 2-week spread is usually a time where most people take off. Most of the professionals who are trading in like a pit in a traditional market manner, those people generally just go on vacation for these 2 weeks, and then they come back that sort of like first full week of January, and that's going to be the 5th of January, so about a week from today. Anyways, until then, I think we're just kind of wasting our time, to be honest. Probably not going to see all that much. So yeah. Anyways, with that said, I'd like to wish you the best as always. Take